You ever wake up and realize your day is about to turn into a circus? Well, picture this. There's a tow truck already backing across my front lawn, crunching straight through Linda's flower beds, and two meatheads in knockoff tactical shirts are screaming that they're here to seize my truck. And I mean really screaming, waving a fake removal order, flashing a pair of dollar store handcuffs, making it clear they're not leaving without my property. All this, and it's not even about some HOA violation. No, this is a straight-up heist courtesy of a power-hungry president named Karen Smay. She took one look at my muddy boots and decided I was just another old rancher ripe for bullying. Thing is, she made a pretty serious mistake. She didn't know the old farmer she was pushing around was a special agent for the FBI currently on leave and itching for a little action. See, I wasn't just watching these clowns break the law. I was waiting for them to walk themselves right into a federal sting. And boy, did they ever. This is the story of how I let them dig their own grave, how I took apart their little criminal ring with a flash of my badge, and why that rusty old red Ford will be the last thing they ever try to tow. Now let me back up a sec, because that truck wasn't just a truck. It was a 1972 Ford F-100 sunburned red big dent in the driver's door from when Dad tried and failed to outstubborn a bull back in '88. The bench seat inside is cracked leather, smells like vinyl and dust and my old man's cheap cigars. Every time you fire up the engine, it rumbles to life like a friendly ghost. Reminds me of all those Saturdays spent handing Dad wrenches and learning the kind of words you're not supposed to say in front of Mom. That truck's the last piece of him I've got. So there it sat, parked under the old oak tree on our ranch, a monument to a life that was supposed to be simple. Problem is, life's not simple anymore. These days, I'm Trevor Daniels, a guy who runs a few dozen head of cattle across 100 acres of Texas hill country. I fix fences, I drink my coffee black, and I mind my business. My wife, Linda, she's the only one who knows the whole truth. She knows my idea of a rough day isn't fixing a busted tractor, but busting down a door with bad guys waiting on the other side. The calluses on my hands, well, they come just as much from a pistol grip as from a shovel. And tucked away in a safe behind a stack of cattle breeding books, there's a badge with my name on it. I'd bought this ranch to try to find some quiet, some peace. And for a couple years it worked. The loudest thing at night was the cicadas. The biggest threat was a coyote sniffing around the chicken coop. The truck was the heart of it all, ran like garbage, sure, but it was honest. It reminded me who I was when I wasn't Agent Daniels. But as my old bureau shrink used to say, peace is a rental, not a purchase. First sign of trouble showed up in the mail. Not a bill, not a birthday card from Linda's sister. No, it's a fat envelope with a gold logo, Oak Creek Meadows Homeowners Association. News to me, since my ranch had been here for 50 years before some developer plopped down a row of beige houses next door. We were supposed to be grandfathered out of their rules. Or so I thought. I opened this letter and Linda's looking over my shoulder, wiping her hands on her apron. What's that, she asks? I start reading, Dear Resident. It has come to the attention of the Oak Creek Meadows HOA Architectural Review Committee that a derelict vehicle is being stored on your property in violation of Bylaw 7, Section 4, Paragraph C. Architectural Review Committee. My house is 100 years old and built out of stone. What are they reviewing? The dirt. Linda laughs. Keep going. The letter keeps piling it on vintage utility truck of indeterminate color. Eyesore impacts the aesthetic harmony of our community. I look out the window at Dad's truck 200 yards from the nearest property line, mostly hidden by the oak tree. Indeterminate color, lady, it's factory red. The paint job's older than your subdivision. But the kicker comes at the end. Remove the vehicle in 14 days or they'll fine me, then remediate the property, which is HOA, speak for steal your truck. Signed with a flourish, Karen Smay. My first instinct is to go full FBI background checks, risk assessment, maybe check for priors. But I fight it down. I'm a rancher now, right? This is just a bored busybody. Linda, she's not an agent, but she's sharp. She reads the letter twice, points out the language. Community Patrol has been authorized to enforce all bylaws. For what runaway garden gnomes, I try to joke, but that cold little investigator's voice in my head is already clocking the intimidation tactics. I decide to treat the letter with the respect it deserves straight into the trash can. Well, now we know what Karen Smay does for fun, I tell Linda. She laughs, but she knows I might ignore a letter, but I won't ignore a threat. Week goes by, I'm feeding cows, fixing fence. I think maybe it's over. Until a white SUV with Oak Creek Meadows security decals already peeling pulls up at my gate. Two guys get out built like they lost a fight with a vending machine. The big one, Haas, looks like he lives on protein powder and disappointment. The other Zip is twitchy, clutching a clipboard like it's a bulletproof vest. Linda spots them companies here. I finish fixing the tractor, wipe my hands, and stroll out. I stop 20 feet from the gate, let them sweat. Haas puffs up. You Trevor Daniels? Maybe. Who's asking? Zip's shaking. We're here about the vehicle. I lean against the post calm as Sunday. Fellas, this isn't your HOA. This ranch was here before your little kingdom. Haas pushes our records, say it's within community jurisdiction. I don't even look at the paperwork. You're not cops, I say. You're trespassers with walkie-talkies. Linda's filming from the window just in case. Hose's face is beet red. You got 48 hours to move the truck or we move it for you. I give him the smile I save for interrogation rooms. Let me get this straight. 2 employees of a private company are threatening to come onto my property and take my stuff. That about right. Zip's doubt is starting to show. It's not a threat, it's a promise. We're authorized. By Karen Smay, I ask. So your boss just ordered you to commit grand theft, auto Haas bristles. Watch your mouth, old man. I ignore the jab. Here's your first and only warning. Next time you're trespassing, I'll have you arrested. There's a standoff, and finally Zip tugs at Hose's sleeve. Let's just go, man. They stomp off SUV, spraying gravel. I know they'll be back, and I start preparing. Sure enough, 48 hours later, they show up with a tow truck, this time driver looking like he was paid in cigarettes and regret. I'm standing on the porch in my old plate carrier, coffee in hand, Linda filming again. Hose yells, "We have a removal order. Give us the keys or we drag it out." I set my coffee down real slow. That's my property. You're not touching it. Hose waves a piece of paper. It's legally binding. I look him dead in the eye. That's a grocery list with a signature. He laughs. You think you can stop us? You're just some washed-up old farmer. He waves the tow truck forward, beeper screaming, crushing more of Linda's flowers. I look at Linda. She gives me a sharp nod. I walk down slow and steady until I'm toe-to-toe with Hose. That's far enough, old man. I don't stop. I reach into my back pocket and flash the gold badge. FBI Special Agent. The look on his face like he just saw a ghost. I rattle off the charges: interfering with a federal officer, conspiracy, attempted grand theft. I don't yell. I don't have to. Hose stumbles back, white as a sheet. Zip is already backing away, hands up. Tow truck guy wants no part of this, peels off across the lawn so fast he leaves ruts. Do you really want to bet your freedom on that badge being fake? I ask quietly. Hawes's tough guy act is gone. They pile into the SUV and take off. But this isn't over. Karen's not the type to admit defeat. She'll double down, come back smarter or sneakier. That's fine. Linda and I turn the kitchen into a command center. She's a whiz with research. I'm working the phones, calling old bureau buddies for hypotheticals. Turns out Karen's got shell companies handling the HOA's contracts, all registered to her maiden name. Money laundering, wire fraud, you name it. We build our case charts, timelines, evidence folders. The deeper we dig, the uglier it gets. Not just my truck, she's targeting the elderly, fining them into foreclosure, funneling cash to her husband's law firm. We could go to the cops, but this is bigger than local. The evidence is federal, crosses state lines. Linda asks, do we drop the hammer? Not yet. I want her to show her true colors for the whole neighborhood to see. Sure enough, Karen sets up a bogus security checkpoint at the road. Huz and Zip are out there stopping cars like they're in a bad cop show. I pull up, give them a little civics lesson, remind them blocking a public road is a felony. Hose puffs up. I sigh, dial 911 right in front of him. Explain to dispatch exactly what's happening, make sure he knows the real cops are on the way. Zipfold starts picking up cones and they beat a hasty retreat. Public humiliation check. Next, they try a midnight intimidation run spotlights. 3 goons creeping up the drive. What they don't know is I've got military-grade cameras and an outdoor speaker system. The second they step onto my property, I hit them with a wall of high-pressure sprinklers full of cow manure. Linda's filming the whole slapstick mess from the porch. Hose slips and face plants in the mud. The new guy screams threats, but they slink off defeated and soaked. But Karen's not done. Saturday morning, she rolls up in a black Escalade white pantsuit, sunglasses bigger than her ego. She announces they're inspecting my property for commercial violations. I block her goons from entering the barn. The new guy tries to grab me. I flip him, zip tie his hands behind his back. "You just assaulted a federal officer," I whisper. Karen's face goes pale as the truth sinks in. I call the bureau on speaker. Backup's 2 minutes out. The sheriff shows up, gun drawn, takes one look at my credentials, and the zip-tied wannabe bodyguard and holsters his weapon. 2 black sedans roar up, real agents this time. My buddy Dave shakes my hand. Thanks me for the file. Karen and her muscle are cuffed, read their rights. The neighbors are watching, grinning, phones out. The queen just lost her crown right in front of everyone. The rest is paperwork and popcorn. With our evidence, the prosecutors got a slam dunk. Karen gets perp walked on the news, her goons cut deals, the whole HOA mess collapses. The new board apologizes, invites us to the community barbecue. We pass, but appreciate the gesture. On a quiet afternoon, I'm fixing the tractor by the oak tree. Linda brings me iced tea, smiles at Dad's truck. "He'd be proud," she says. "Maybe. I just know we fought for more than a truck. We fought for our peace, for the principle that bullies don't get to win. You stand your ground, you use your brain, and you never ever let a fake badge scare you off your own land. So tell me, where do you stand on justice? Ever face down a bully? Was I right or just stubborn? Let me know in the comments. I'll be out here making sure the next fence line stays clear, because this ranch, this life, it's ours, and we're not giving up an inch."